Well, good morning. Here we are again. It's now the 1st of August, it's 11 AM and I'm going to do another update of my allotment, this time for the month of July. So what's happened since the last video? Let's have a walk down. The strawberry bed has been cleared, tidied up. They're still producing runners, so I'll need to go back round and cut those off. The brassica bed seems to be doing okay now. I had to spray the brassicas because the butterflies were getting into the netting. I've secured it a bit more, well my wife did, but I've actually caught 3 in there this morning, so they're still getting in somehow, and at the moment there's one trying to get in now at this moment, but they're coming alright. I did need to spray them once. My marathon calibres are just developing, so I'll most probably cut one of those today. They're still not as big as they should be, so maybe there needs to be more feed in the ground. Let's go down to the tomatoes. Finally I've got some tomatoes setting on their bushes. But it is the 1st of August, so they should really be further along by now, but we really have had some windy weather over July. So anyway, they're developing now. Hopefully I'll get some tomatoes before the blight starts. Down a bit further, these are some of my pumpkins. I've got another small variety this year, but I've actually forgotten their name, and I'll put the name up on the video with some closer look at the pumpkins. My pumpkins are growing quite well. My pumpkins are developing nicely. I've cleared my garlic and my shallots. Yeah, garlic and shallots last week, and they've done a lot better than they did last year, especially the garlic. I'll be able to use the garlic that will store, so that will be fine. I've been picking beans off of here and looking across at my onions. I'm just letting them dry out now before I pull them, and I've left one of the onions, one of the red onions anyway, to go to seed. Saving one of my red onions for seed. Carrying on down. My main crop potatoes are still growing fine. And my pink fir apple, so I've got Desiree and pink fir apple in here. We come round. My parsnips are doing fine. Like I said before, this is the first time I've had parsnips really since 2011. I've planted out my leeks and the majority of those are doing fine. I did notice a little bit of onion white rot starting on the bottom of some of these when I transplanted them, so whether they'll all turn out alright or not, I'm not sure. Let's move over here. Now this is where my disastrous pea crop was. Anyway, I've tidied it up. Later on I will be sowing some winter manure in there, most probably at the end of this month, to overwinter. This bed is now doing okay. I did start with some peas that didn't come up, so I've got celeriac in there now. There's a few beans in there, didn't take very well. The seed was very old of these dwarf beans. We kept them, we used to use them year in, year out. I thought I'd put some in this year, but they haven't done very well. So lettuce is alright, got some radish. I've sown, where you can see the lines, I've sown some pak choy, some more lettuce and some radishes. So it just needs watering. I keep moaning about my raspberries, but they're autumn bliss, so it's a little early for them anyway, so I'm hoping that they'll develop more. Rhubarb is getting a bit over the top now, so I won't really be eating much more of that. Asparagus is developing, ready for next year. I made another batch of comfrey feed, and since I started that, they're growing back well. My comfrey feed is breaking down nicely. This was full at the start of the process. I'm now running some off into a bottle. Hope you can see that. Some comfrey collected so far. I sieved all my compost bins this month, and I've ended up with 2 empty bins, one bin half full of sieved compost plus the 15 bags of sieved compost, and the one compost bin that's got composting in the process. This is my compost that I sieved. Let's have a look inside. So you can see it's nice and fine and crumbly. So that's what's in each of the bags. And if we come up look in here, that's the compost ready for use. This is the compost here that didn't go through the sieve, so that's still composting down. The other 2 bins are empty. This is where my second early potatoes were. They've all been harvested. And again I will sow some green manure in there at the end of this month, August. These are my older strawberry plants. That bed still needs to be cleared, and I will thin those out. And I must really spread the plants out to take up that whole bed during the autumn. My courgettes are doing fine. My courgettes need picking. I'll do that after this video. And finally my runner beans are fruiting now, so we're picking those. My beans are growing nicely now, and we've had a few meals off of them. This section here was where my brassica seedlings, or brassicas, were sown and then transferred into the cage. And here we've got a few carrots that have taken. They were just broadcast sown across here. Some have come up, some haven't. The spinach has finally taken, and we've had a couple of meals off of that. The beetroot's doing fine now, that's away, and the same with my dwarf beans. Haven't picked any dwarf beans yet, and I've got a few beans there growing as well. Right, now the greenhouse is very slow this year. I think the compost that's in the base of this raised bed has been exhausted. I think next year I'm going to start growing in pots and then completely change their compost earth mixture each time I plant, so this will be cleared out. These cucumbers, they're growing, but they're very slow. The tomatoes are a big boy type. I've forgotten their name, I'll put it up in a minute when I do the video. They've got a large beef type tomato, but they're not a patch on what it was like last year. I'll show you an example. Okay, greenhouse is quite full. I've got plenty of tomatoes in all different stages of fruiting. My my melons, they're growing well, but I haven't actually seen any fruit setting yet, so I don't know whether I will. As you can see, I've got plenty of cucumbers. These are Burpliss green. They do very well in here. It's like everything when you grow in allotment, there's always too many all at the same time. There's another two melons there, and as you can see, be able to see better from outside, there's lettuce in here as well. And I'll move outside and walk round, and from here you can see the tomatoes growing nicely in the greenhouse, of what it was like last year in here. But the cucumbers are growing, but I haven't had any cucumbers off them yet, so it's really got behind this year. Why? I can only think that I retarded my tomatoes, the way I actually grew them, by I put them in the garage far too early at home. I should have left them in the conservatory to develop them more, and for some reason they're not growing, well, not fast enough anyway. If I show you, I walk across to my colleague's tomatoes in his greenhouse and show you the difference. Right, this is my colleague's greenhouse, and if you can see in there, his tomatoes are doing very nicely. Anyway, that's it for this monthly tour for July. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please like, and if you want to comment, obviously they're welcome, either positive or negative. And so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you again at the end of August. Bye for now.